Okay, I'll admit, looking back at me playing that King of Comedy ending, that was very embarrassing. Like, I just didn't understand what was going on, and like I thought I was missing something, but I kept like falling for I just kept having blanks in my memory, like, did you say the right or left door? Like, I'm stupid. But anyway.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps a good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket,
a humble bucket.
A bucket of culture and distinction. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No. Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I love the timing of that.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
They timed it for if you're like walking like straight ahead.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Whoops.
The cargo.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Yeah, so any ending with the bucket is a new thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go to the red and blue door, because there's a collectible there.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
What is that over? What? There's a This is the room with a lot of boxes. The collectible's over there. How do I even get there? That's the question. That's the question. Exciting new paths with the bucket.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Sure.
Please, step in here for a moment.
That's ominous. I don't know about that. Let's see what's in there. A game show? Sure, let's do it.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yep, that's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual
That's
bucket.
still a bucket. Like, it still does the function of a bucket, you know? It can hold water. Is it made of styrofoam?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Yes! I know my buckets when I see them.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
You know, I'm thinking that's not a bucket. Like, I'm not getting bucket vibes from this.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Alright. 2 out of 4 so far.
Is this a bucket?
Narrator, that's another tractor. I don't know why you...
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
That's a bucket? Are you kidding me with that?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
That was totally not a bucket. Are you kidding me? That's a bucket for sure.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Both what? What else is that? It's a bucket and what else?
I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Not a bucket.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless...
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Is everything a bucket? No, there are some things that aren't.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Oh, no.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything is a bucket.
Why did everything disappear?
And you erased
Was everything a bucket?
Everything was a bucket.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
You're not a bucket.
And you, Stanley, you're still here.
I'm not a bucket.
You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually
trophy
feel much
achievement.
more at
We're
ease
not
right now.
buckets.
It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game.
The game was a bucket.
So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
All right.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
All right. And the game is back. The bucket. I'm gonna take the bucket to the confusion ending.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
Hell yeah, it did.
In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah, it's this way.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Ready to get confused, bucket?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Huh?
You see, your friends and I are concerned.
It's an intervention.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
It's really good.
Don't you
it's
want
a really
another
good bucket, okay?
involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. I'm cool with the Adventure Line, taking me somewhere new. What's good, mannequin wife and big baby? Hey, broom closet. Ah, good times. It's burning up the back of the mannequin.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It did play music, yeah.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then.
When did you say
Let's
that,
do it for
huh?
the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly
Sorry,
like
what?
this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No. No, I can't give up the bucket. You'll have to take this bucket from my cold dead hands. Oh no. Oh no. Going to the death basement. It's a Sly Cooper cane. Ominous red light.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Can I turn this off?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable
I gotta get out of here.
like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer.
I'm trapped.
Until you crush that damn bucket.
I won't do it.
Now. The fans are waiting.
I won't do it.
The fans,
I
Stanley.
won't
Give
destroy the
fans
bucket.
what they want. Hurry and
Okay. I'm not destroying the bucket.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh my god. What now? Fade to black. Maybe I should destroy the bucket.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Alright, I'll give it a chance. Bye, bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular...
So even if I wanted to destroy the bucket, I could not. Somewhere red and blue. I probably have to go there without the bucket. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's try the downstairs loop ending with the bucket. That's gotta be something.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
Oh no.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket?
How the hell?
This is all terribly wrong.
What?
Surely no good would come from this.
No.
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence
I don't have a
of
bucket
his
anymore.
bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh no.
Oh, gracious.
Oh, gracious.
He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find
Where
the
are
bucket.
you?
He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself.
It was
and then
Mariella's
collapsed dead
bucket.
on the sidewalk.
It was Mariella's
Right away,
bucket.
She knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Everyone's got a reassurance bucket. Alright, I'm gonna try some stuff without the bucket this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room. I mean, truly,
what is this?
Truly, deeply, madly, love.
This room gonna make me act up.
Yes, really.
Okay,
really
okay.
worth it being. But eager to get back
I thought I was
to
falling
business,
in love.
Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
How do I get that
realize
collectible over there?
Your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Oh?
Stanley walked through the red door.
We got a collectible.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anlarines. None of us can.
Figler Anlarines. Stanley walked through the red door. Is it... like, are these going to be any different? Probably not.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
I think the only way out of the Stanley Parable 2 is to collect all 6 figurines. Stanley, gotta do it.
No,
I gotta get out of here.
Let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Fuck
Please,
you, narrator.
No! If you die, we'll both go back.
Shut
Why
the
are you
hell
doing?
up. I'm getting out of here.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Am I actually walking slower? That's a good touch.
Really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
I'm actually
I just
going
wanted us
slower
to
every
get
time I
along.
fall. It's a nice
But I
touch.
guess-
Yeah, the slower walking speed adds so much to this ending. I love that.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay, I'm gonna try something else without the bucket. So I saw Pat Stares play this game, and he discovered something. I got the feeling, money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated.
Oh, that's what's
Stanley
making the room
calmly
dark.
walked forward into the opened passageway.
That's what was making the room dark.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'm gonna figure something out for that. Now there's no distracting light on my shoulder. I'm going back.
Whoops.
Going back up.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Wow.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
The sarcasm.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
No. Going back up.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
I love the sarcasm. The smart aleck. Ooh, what could it be? No way.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Take your time, bit.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
All right. How about we go down the elevator again?
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Let's go up again. Trust me, this goes somewhere.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator, but the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley, live on stage. The world's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. How we did it, the pyramids, live, the guy who went to Mars. Oh boy. An evening with the world peace baby. The Stanley Parable, Stanley. Ooh.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. The world's first sentient machine, a Q&A with... I read that out of order. Doing great, a conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling, and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Meet and greet with the Lord. Congratulations, Stanley. Stanley, me. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. I love the way you ride elevators. Break a leg, champ. The storyteller. Up and up again, down again. An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Y'all ready to meet me? Woo! I'm a superstar. Stanley the superstar. Huh? What? No. What the hell?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.